Hey guys, it's Sarah. Okay, today we're going to talk about my TBR shelves. Now, a couple weeks ago, I asked for some suggestions and some requests for videos. I was feeling a little uninspired in the video department. I get that way every so often. And I was having a hard time coming up with some things to, talk about or discuss or share or whatever. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So I asked for some feedback on Instagram. And I got multiple requests for like a TBR shelf tour. Here's why I don't want to do that. Because all of my books on my shelves are my TBR books right now. Any book that I have read and I kept, or as I'm reading them right now, I'm putting them in boxes and storing them in my house. So they're not on display on my shelf. So all of these books back here, save for I think 2 Karen Slaughter books up here, all of these are unread. I have not read these yet. Same with anything upstairs, any bookshelf I have, they are all unread books. So I don't want to share that because that would take me 5 weeks to film and edit, and I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to do that, guys. So instead of doing that, I wanted to do a little bit of a take on it instead. So instead of showing you every single book that I haven't read yet, I am going to do something like by the numbers. So what I did was I went through my books and I counted them. So I know now how many books I have in total. And this is as of filming this. I do have some more books coming into my house soon. You'll see that here soon. But as of filming this video, this is how many books I own physically. So any book on my shelf. These are books that I have on my Kindle. And these are audiobooks that I have downloaded as well from Libro FM. So that is what I'm going to be talking about here today. And I'm going to break it down by genre. So I thought it'd be kind of interesting to see how many books I have in each genre. And this is going to include all 3 of those categories. And I think it was kind of a fun experiment for me too, just to see, what I own the most of. So yeah. But I have it all written down here. It took me some time to go through. I have a total number of books that I have. Again, this is both physical and ebook. And then, I did also break it down. So I know how many physical books I have versus how many are either ebook or audiobook. So that number was, kind of very similar to what I had in my head anyway, kind of like knowing what I have on my shelves and how many I own. So that was pretty similar. That wasn't a big surprise, but the total number is kind of a surprise. So let's get into it. I'm going to do 8 different categories. So I have fantasy, science fiction, nonfiction, general fiction, which would include, I included, just anything just for general audiences or classics I included in there as well. So that type of thing. Middle grade, urban fantasy or paranormal, thrillers and mystery, and historical fiction. Those are kind of the genres that came up in my mind that I just know I have a decent amount of, that I could have them separate from everything else. So we'll talk about each category, how many books I have in each one, and then we'll do like the totals and stuff. Okay, so I started with fantasy because that is my big bookshelf upstairs. That is the bookshelf I look at every single day and I look at longingly and stroke every so often. So for fantasy books, physically on my shelf upstairs, I have 172 fantasy books, unread. On my Kindle, I have 46 ebooks, unread. And that total comes out to 218 unread fantasy books. 218. Okay. For science fiction, I have 45 physical books. On my Kindle, I have 11 books, which comes out to 56. So I have 56 unread science fiction books on my shelves. For nonfiction, I have 28 physical books, I have 12 ebooks, and I have 1 audiobook, and that comes out to 41. So 41 nonfiction books. For general fiction, here we go. Physically, I have 215. For ebook, I have 98. And for audiobook, I have 10. So that is 323, just general fiction, contemporaries, books kind of written for everybody, doesn't really fit into a specific genre of category, classics, like I said. Yeah, 323. For middle grade, I have 57 physical books. That includes books that are on my daughter's shelf that I would like to pick up and read. I have 2 ebooks, and so that's a total of 59. So 59 middle grade. For urban fantasy or paranormal, I have 32 physical books. I have 25 ebooks, and I have 1 audiobook. So that comes out to 58 total. And paranormal and urban fantasy, I consider, like Cassandra Clare books, I would consider that. And the Harry Dresden Files on my Kindle, consider that. Anything that has ghosts or werewolves or vampires, anything like that is included in that category. Then for thrillers and mystery books, physical 103, ebook 71, and audiobook 5. So that comes out to 179 thrillers or mysteries. Yeah. And for historical fiction, for physical books, I have 73, and ebooks, I have 15, which comes out to 88. 88 historical fiction books. Okay, so that is pretty accurate, I think. I could be off by like a couple of numbers here and there. It was hard to keep track of what I had already counted because I was doing this by genre, so I was kind of just keeping count of, everything. I went through my shelves multiple times to do this, and so I think this is pretty accurate. Now, physical books I have on my shelves, like anything physical in my house that is a paper book, I have 725, which is pretty close to what I was thinking it was. I was thinking it was around 700 or so. Yep. Total, though, if I include all the books on my Kindle and all the books that I have downloaded from Libro FM, the total amount of books I have on my TBR that I own, that I have instant access to, is 1,022. 1,022 books, you guys. Will I ever read all that? Let's be real. Not unless writers go on a strike for like 10 years. That would be great. Then I would really get it down if they would just like stop writing things, but they're not stopping writing things. People keep writing things, series keep coming out, and new authors keep popping up, which is fantastic and terrible all at the same time. That's the reality of my TBR. If you want to see all of the books that are on my TBR, you actually want to like see the actual books, check out my Goodreads down below. I will try to link my actual TBR shelves down below if I can. I always have a Goodreads page link down below, and I do have my TBR books separate from everything else. So I have like owned TBR, which are my physical books, and then I have a Kindle TBR, which are my Kindle books. So you can check those out definitely if you want to actually see the actual books that are on my TBR. Feel free to go there. Yeah, but that's a lot of books, you guys. That's a lot of books. So it's eye-opening, definitely. Am I going to try to set any goals because of this? No, because I won't reach them, and it's fine. So I have a lot, and I understand that. I'm genuinely excited to read all of these books. Like, I'm not kidding. If I went through and tried to do a purge, I don't know how far I would get because I definitely still want to read all these books. So I think that's a good thing too. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's the reality of my TBR. Let me know what your TBR looks like. Do you have hundreds upon 1,000 books like I do? Do you keep it under 50? If you do, oh my gosh, you're my hero. I think that's fantastic. Yeah, let me know what your TBRs look like. If you have numbers, let me know the numbers. If not, if you just have an idea, let me know. I think that's kind of an interesting discussion. So yeah, okay, that's going to be it for me today. I hope that kind of fulfilled the request for like a TBR tour. I don't want to film it. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, so I thought that was kind of an interesting experiment. All right, let me know your answers down below, and I will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.